I'm going to say...
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, wow, that works, doesn't it? Yeah, we've got a couple of quick pieces of housekeeping to go over before we get started and bring everybody down the aisle, or up the aisle, as geography may dictate. I want to remind all of you who is getting married today. Yes, this is a solemn occasion that does demand a certain bit of reverence, but this is Casey and Jason who are getting married today. They are back there right now, and they are uncomfortable. Jason is trussed up in a tux, and he'd much rather be in sweats and a hoodie. Casey is counting down the seconds when she can get back into a pair of cutoffs and a tank top. Don't get me wrong, they look great, but they are a little bit uncomfortable. This is where you guys can help. Let's make these proceedings a little bit rambunctious, okay? I want to hear some cat calls. Let's give them some high fives when they're coming up the aisle. Somebody had better interrupt the processional to get a selfie. Speaking of phones, another piece of administrative business, let's hold off on the videotaping with your phones. I know it's tempting, but take a look around. We've got about 4 or 5 cameras set up already. We've got that covered. And don't worry, if somebody trips and falls coming up the aisle, that will make the edit. We don't need your bootlegged version floating around. So yeah, go light on the phones. Yeah, and snap a picture every now and then, but for the most part, let's just keep them stowed. Let's enjoy this one through our eyes and not through the filter of technology. Okay. Now Jason's going to be coming down the aisle first. I think we need to welcome him by reminding him what he is here to do today. Close. It is time for this boy to wife up. It is time for this boy to what? Wife up. That's good, that's close, but look, the noise ordinances don't kick in around here for another couple of hours. Let's get loud. It's time for him to what? Wife up! What? Wife up! What? Wife up! That's right. Maestro, some music if you please. Paddy is staring at you. All right, let's get started. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the matrimonial union of Casey and Jason. And let's be clear, you are all beloved. I know it can seem a little bit iffy at times, what with Casey's scattered high-energy flitting about nature, she can occasionally forget to stop and remind you. And despite Jason's aloof, persistently mildly annoyed demeanor, he really does love and appreciate all of you. And clearly, you're here. You're the people that they wanted here with them today. Unfortunately, life is finite, and there are some who couldn't be with us today. There's a candle to honor those who are missing. So, if you'd like to light your candle now.
Look at it.
Even though marriage is between two people, it truly is a community event. First, people are harassing you about when you'll get married. Then the details about where you'll get married and how you'll get married. But the most relevant part of this community conversation is discussing why to get married. A mutual friend of Casey and Jason's has some thoughts on this that he'd like to share. He's old, he's wise, and he rarely stops talking. Ryan Bilbrey, ladies and gentlemen.
When Casey and Jason asked me to do this, I told them I tried two things, war movies and weddings. So I've been practicing this, but...
All like a baby at ours.
That's a true story. Back up a little bit, okay. Have you ever been in love? Horrible, isn't it? It makes you so vulnerable. It opens your chest and it opens your heart. Take it for you, I guess that's what it is. And it means that someone can get inside you and mess you up. You build up these defenses, you build up a whole suit of armor so that nothing can hurt you. And one stupid person wanders into your stupid life. You give them a piece of you. They didn't ask for it. They did something dumb one day, like kiss you or smile at you. And then your life isn't your own anymore. Hold you this.
I'll hold your hand.
You all hold the mic, you hold their hands.
You've known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, you've been making commitments in an informal way. All of those conversations that were held in the car, over a meal, during kickball games, all those conversations that began with, when we're married, and continue with, I will, and you will, and we will. All those late night talks that included someday, and somehow, and maybe, and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The vows you're about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all these things that we promised and hoped and dreamed. Well, I meant it. Every word. Look now at one another, and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you've been many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, teammate, even teacher. Surely you shall say a few words that will take you across the threshold of life, and things between you will never be the same. For after today, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, this is my wife. Yeah, all control. At weddings, we imagine the future because it's all about what will happen next. All the work and negotiation and building and talk that makes even the tiniest happily ever after something to be proud of for a we forever. Sometime in that future, you may ask one another, why do you love me? You'll take turns listing each other's attributes, but you may not be able to come up with any reasons. You might get to the end of this conversation feeling a little bit frustrated because although you're now full of compliments about how wonderful you are, you won't have actually gotten to the bottom of it. Love is a slippery little weasel, isn't it? It can't be listed, it can't be held, it can't be unpacked. It's often mistaken for that simpering ogre, the Cupid. Whatever you do, never forget that love can't be boiled down to an orderly quality. You can't break up each other's features into a stack of elements which add up to a reason. The most honest answer to why do you love me is, I don't know. Don't worry and don't wobble. It doesn't mean you're uncertain. On the contrary, you know that you don't know, and this is fantastic bravery of the highest order. Nor does it mean that the question is redundant and that you should stop asking each other. Always ask, why do you love me? It will remind you that you do love each other, and besides, this conversation never loses its exasperating shine. It is what marriage is made of. You have lit a fire, and that fire should not go out. The two of you have a fire that represents love, understanding, and a philosophy of life. The new fire represents a new beginning, a new life, and a new family. You have lit the fire for life until old age separates you. But above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins.
In this spirit of community, we are here to start them on their life's journey together. After this, they'll have a number of milestones in their life, moving in together, sharing holidays together, getting a number of pets together. Okay. They've gotten a pretty good start on that. But this is a very big moment, the final joining, as it were. And this is the moment where you will officially have to start thinking about your celebrity couple name. And there are so many options, it's tricky. JC, Kaysen, Benoit, my personal favorite, Brandenstein. In my research for this event, I read somewhere that the most important thing in life is to love someone. The second most important thing in life is to find someone to love you. And the third most important thing is to make sure both of the first two happen at the same time. That is what has happened with Casey and Jason. They've fallen in love, and they are here today to make a public community commitment of their love for and loyalty for one another. And now I'm supposed to say something meaningful and profound here. All right, here. Come together, turn, face me. Okay. Ignore everyone else for a minute. Ignore everything else for a minute. Okay? Look at me and listen to me. Oh my God, you finally have to listen to me. You can't get out of this with like a glib quip or a hand-waving pshaw. You are trapped.
I know, and I can't talk.
You can't. You have to listen.
This is the part where he wanted me to.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I always have prepared more to say. Okay, here it is. Over time, you are both going to change. That's just the way of things. People change. So make it a point to change, to make the world a better place for each other. Because that's kind of the point of this, isn't it? I mean, the rest of the world is going to be chaotic and wonderful and messy and throw a lot of curveballs at you. But today, you are making a stand. You're declaring that you don't have to face it alone. And you each will not let the other face it alone. Yes, there will be times when you two butt heads, which makes it a good thing that you're both so darn thick-skulled. But remember the creed: mutual empathy. Achieve together, celebrate each other, make each other laugh until food shoots out your nose, and do not forget quiet reflection. You both have very busy, very wonderfully loud minds. Turn those off. Cuddle up, shut up, and then just enjoy being together. That's it. That's what I got. That's my best stuff. Take it and run with it. I've talked enough for a bit. Let's let someone else have a hand at it. Anna, Jason's grandmother, has some words that she'd like to share with us.
A little bit on the serious side, we do have to thank God that we're all here and that we're all having such a good time and everybody is so happy. And so I am going to read from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, strive eagerly for the greatest spiritual gifts, but I shall show you a still more excellent way. If I speak in human and angelic tongues, but do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clashing cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and comprehend all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have all faith so as to move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away everything I own, and if I hand my body over so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It is not jealous, is not pompous. It is not inflated, it's not rude. It does not seek its own interest. It is not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails.
All right, it's probably time to get down to the real business here, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, did you pull this one? Okay, so I have an A for you, and E for you, and an I, an O, and a U, and I guess you get sometimes Y. These are the wedding vows, everyone.
I let him go. I was like, there's a point.
Yeah.
There's no point.
Because these two always have to get a word in edgewise, they had each written their own vows. But they could not decide who goes first. So we're going to make it happen the best way we know how. With an official, no, not rock, paper, scissors. I did everything in my power not to have a kickball reference in this ceremony. No, we're going to do it with an official coin flip. This is an English sixpence. It is the lucky wedding coin. It stems from the phrase something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. The unknown end of that is an English sixpence in her shoe. This is not in her shoe. This is needed to flip right now. So if we could have the official coin flip referee come up, please.
This is heads. We can't let a Patriots fan do it.
Jason, because you initiated these proceedings by popping the question, you get to call it in the air.
Wait, I defer?
You have to get it right first.
I defer.
Call it.
Heads.
It is heads. He defers. Wait, you won the coin toss, but now you have to read the. This is the first of many arguments that you will understand.
Wait, no, really?
Yeah.
Casey. I'm off to a really good start. I wrote these vows last night while in the spot where I met you for the very first time. Yes, at the park across the street from Universal. It was there that a cocky, loudmouth, and very handsome guy that's me shouted vulgar remarks masked as trash talk across the field. You were the only one who laughed. Looking back on that moment, I know now that our relationship will be built on a great sense of humor, even if sometimes you and I are the only ones laughing. I admire your tenacity and your unparalleled compassion. I love that you spell the word colored with a U. Even though everyone knows there is no U in color.
Cool.
I love your fight and your grit, and the fact that a tough Italian girl can still be vulnerable, even if it's only behind a curtain that only I can see through. I recently came across a Scottish poem that when I first heard it, I thought it spoke directly to the kind of relationship that you and I have. Walking the roads of our youth, through the land of our childhoods, our homes and our truths, be near me, guide me, always stay beside me, so I can be free. Free. Let's roam this place, familiar and vast. Our playground of green frames our past. We were wanderers, never lost, always home. When every place was fenceless and time was endless, our ways were always the same. Cool my demons and walk with me, my lover, until our roads lead us away from each other. They say vows are a couple's promise to one another. Now, I suppose I could stand here today and tell you that I promise you the world, and while I want nothing more than to give you that and so much more, I can't. So I won't pretend to. Instead, I can only promise you one thing, which is the very same promise I made to you the night that I asked for your hand. That you are no longer alone. That no matter what happens in this crazy life, no matter the triumphs, the failures, no matter the trials or the hardships that may and will come our way, that I will always be right here beside you. Always. Keep challenging me as I will keep challenging you. Keep laughing with me as I will keep laughing with you. And keep loving me as I will keep loving you.
Should have gone first.
Well, no, he was there last night, thank you. Jason, from the day we met, nothing about our relationship has been normal. From cutting our jorts, to telling you on our first night together that don't get attached. I never intended for us to be close or become best friends. As many people here today know, we had our on again and off again, and on again and off again, and on again and off again. But after 5 years of our relationship, I couldn't be happier. This last year was the most difficult year in my life. There were days where you literally had to pick me up off the ground and try to convince me that everything was going to be okay. I thank you every day for that. And I truly don't know if I ever would have survived it without you. While I was breaking, you made me whole again. Sorry, I like crying. No amount of words on a piece of paper can express my love and thanks enough. I'm a loud, foul-mouthed, slightly crazy girl who can promise to try and be less argumentative, not as messy, and not use the F word every 5 seconds. But we all know it's a lie, it's not going to last more than 20 minutes. But what I can promise is to love you more than anyone in this world ever could. Sorry, slow, but I'm going to. And to share all the pain, excitement, and happiness that life has to offer both of us through this crazy LA life. You'll never be alone on your mountain, and I'll love you forever, baby blue.
And take a little step this way. And turn and face me. Let's get this official. So can we have the rings, please?
Somewhere.
Wait. Okay, so he has to go get that one, and she says no. That's great. I mean, if I was going to put money on it, I would have expected Casey to forget or lose something for this wedding, but no, it was the best man and the maid of honor who screwed it up. So yeah, That doesn't sound, that's not a good sound at all.
Smoke them if you got them.
Now would be a great time to take out your phones and grab a picture, because proceedings are slightly interrupted. Oh, wait.
Oh my God! I finally had a power wheel! I've been asking Casey for 8 years now.
You got the driver's license.
I'm not kidding, like 28 years I've been asking for this.
I got the rest of it.
Little warbly coming down the aisle. Somebody clap her off.
You better drive that out of here.
Yeah.
I can ride that later, right? Florida.
Oh, you have it.
All right. That bit of levity out of the way. So.
I asked him about it earlier today. Sorry.
That's okay. This is official. This is the important part.
Got it.
Yes. I have to ask you questions. You have to answer. Okay. Starting. Do you, Jason, take this woman here, Casey, as your wife, to have and to hold, in good times and bad, in sickness and in health, in dogs and in cats, in Cowboys versus Giants, forever and ever, as long as you both live, no take-backsies?
She told me you weren't allowed to say the F word, but fuck yeah.
And do you, Casey, take this here fellow Jason, as your husband, to have and to hold in good times and bad, in sickness and in health, in Mets versus Rangers interleague, in surgery and in recovery, forever and ever, as long as you both live, no take-backsies? Placed any punishment? Okay, you said yes. And you said a euphemism for yes. So, by virtue of the fact that you two so foolishly asked me to do this, I hereby exercise my authority to pronounce you to husband and wife.